Welcome to part 3 of our Better Than Rolex series, where we explore 6 more luxury watches that prove you don't need a crown on the dial to wear something truly exceptional. Time to get into it. The first watch we have to talk about is the Breguet Marine. Now, Breguet is one of the oldest and most respected names in horology. Abraham Louis Breguet, the brand's founder, literally invented the tourbillon. So when you strap on a Marine, you're not just wearing a watch, you're wearing centuries of watchmaking heritage. The Marine collection takes that DNA and adapts it for modern sports luxury. Look closely and you'll see fluted casebands, wave-pattern guilloche dials, and Breguet's signature hands. These design cues make the Marine instantly recognizable to collectors who know their history. On the wrist, the Marine is versatile. The integrated bracelet flows seamlessly into the case, giving it the same luxurious feel as the Nautilus or Royal Oak, but with a distinctly Breguet identity. Inside, you're getting high horology movements, often with silicone escapements for cutting-edge precision. Pricing starts in the high teens, often around $18,000 to $20,000, with precious metal versions climbing significantly higher. Compared to Rolex's Yachtmaster, which often retails around $14,000, but trades above that on the grey market, the Marine offers more artistry and finishing for not much more money. If you're hunting for one, the best options are authorized boutiques or trusted grey dealers, where you'll sometimes see stainless steel variants closer to retail. Next up, the Vacheron Constantin Overseas. Vacheron is part of the holy trinity of watchmaking, alongside Patek Philippe and Audemars Piguet, and the Overseas is its answer to the integrated bracelet sports watch craze. Unlike Rolex, which plays it safe with incremental updates, Vacheron loaded the Overseas with unique features. The most notable is its quick change strap system. You can literally switch between steel, leather, and rubber straps in seconds without a single tool. That flexibility means the Overseas can go from boardroom to beach without skipping a beat. The movement inside is Geneva Seal certified, which means it's been finished to some of the highest standards in the industry. Flip it over, and the exhibition caseback reveals a 22-karat gold rotor engraved with a compass rose, reminding you that this watch is designed for travel and adventure. Retail pricing starts at around $23,000 for the time and date model, but on the secondary market, you'll often find them closer to $20,000 to $21,000. That makes the Overseas a relative bargain compared to the Royal Oak or Nautilus, which trade for 2 or 3 times retail. Collectors often say that the Overseas is the insider's choice. You won't see it everywhere, but those who know, know. And then there's the Ulysse Nardin Freak, one of the most radical watches on the market. While Rolex builds its reputation on tradition, the Freak thrives on innovation. Instead of a traditional dial, the movement itself rotates around the case to indicate the time. The gear train acts as the minute hand, while another bridge marks the hours. There's no crown either. The bezel is used to set the time. It's an approach that completely rewrites the rules of watchmaking. The Freak's design is instantly recognizable, avant-garde, bold, and futuristic. On the wrist, it's a conversation starter. Owners often say it's the one watch that even non-watch people are fascinated by. Pricing starts around $25,000 for the more basic Freak models, with advanced versions like the Freak X slightly more accessible in the $20,000 range. They're available at Ulysse Nardin boutiques, but the secondary market is where you'll often see good opportunities, with prices holding strong thanks to the Freak's cult following. When you compare the Freak to Rolex, it's apples to oranges. Rolex will always play it safe. The Freak is a daring experiment in mechanical art, and for many collectors, that's exactly why it crushes Rolex. Another brand that consistently challenges Rolex in both design and heritage is Blancpain, particularly with its legendary 50 Fathoms collection. While Rolex's Submariner often gets credit as the most iconic dive watch, the 50 Fathoms actually came first in 1953, released months before the Submariner. It was purpose-built for French Navy divers, setting the blueprint for what a dive watch should be. A rotating bezel, high water resistance, and luminous legibility underwater. That DNA still lives in today's models. Modern 50 Fathoms. References push the limits of luxury tool watches. You'll find sapphire bezel inserts that shimmer under light, dials with sunray finishes or gradient fades, and lume that glows like a torch in darkness. Inside, Blancpain uses in-house calibers with 5-day power reserves and silicone hairsprings for accuracy and durability. The movements are finished beautifully, pelage, beveling, and custom rotors that Rolex simply doesn't expose with its closed casebacks. In terms of pricing, 50 Fathoms models generally start around $15,000 retail, though they often dip to $12,000 to $13,000 pre-owned. Compare that to submariners that retail for $9,000 but trade for $12,000 to $14,000 on the secondary market, and suddenly the Blancpain looks like a bargain considering the superior craftsmanship and exclusivity. Collectors who own both often say that while Rolex feels like a mass-produced machine, the 50 Fathoms feels like a piece of high horology dressed as a tool watch. That distinction is why so many seasoned buyers eventually pivot toward Blancpain. Then there's Glashütte Original, the German brand often overshadowed by its neighbor A. Lange and Sony, but no less impressive. Glashütte has a rich history stretching back to the mid-19th century, and today it blends traditional Saxon watchmaking with modern flair. The SeaQ, in particular, has been making waves, pun intended, in the diving watch category. Inspired by the brand's 1969 Spezi-Matic type RP TS200, the SeaQ combines retro design with modern specs, 200 meters of water resistance, bold vintage-style indices, and a ceramic bezel that adds durability. What sets Glashütte apart is the finishing. The brand's hallmark three-quarter plate, stripe patterns, and swan neck regulators are visible through sapphire casebacks, making each watch feel like a mechanical showcase. Rolex's movements are certainly robust, but they're hidden. Glashütte invites you to admire the craftsmanship. Retail prices hover around $10,000 to $12,000, but clean pre-owned examples can still be found under $10,000, making them some of the most approachable high-luxury divers on the market. Collectors love them for their individuality. As one put it, Rolex is the obvious choice. Glashütte is the choice of someone who thinks for themselves. Finally, we have Parmigiani Fleurier, one of the most respected names among serious collectors. While not a household brand like Rolex, Parmigiani is considered an insider's choice for connoisseurs who value refinement and exclusivity over name recognition. The Tonda PF collection is a perfect example. Introduced in 2021, it's already established itself as one of the most elegant, integrated bracelet sports watches in the world. The design is minimalist, but masterful. Slim hands, micro-textured guilloche dials, and cases with perfectly polished and brushed transitions. Inside, the micro-rotor movement keeps the watch ultra-thin, while still offering premium finishing you'd expect in haute horlogerie. On the wrist, the Tonda PF feels nothing like Rolex. It's lighter, sleeker, and more discreet. Retail pricing starts around $23,000, with precious metal versions going far higher. Unlike Rolex, where premiums are driven by hype, Parmigiani's value is rooted in craftsmanship and scarcity. Because production numbers are so limited, each Tonda PF feels rare by design, not by artificial shortage. Owners often say it's the kind of watch that gets nods of respect only from those who truly understand watchmaking. And here's where Parmigiani really crushes Rolex. Rolex has become so mainstream that nearly everyone has seen a Submariner, a Daytona, or a Datejust. They're ubiquitous. But when someone notices a Tonda PF, it signals something very different. It shows that you've gone beyond the obvious choice, that you've studied the craft, and that you value refinement over popularity. It's the ultimate connoisseur's move. So when we look at Breguet with its historic Marine, Vacheron with the versatile Overseas, Ulysse Nardin with the radical Freak, Blancpain with its pioneering 50 Fathoms, Glashütte Original with its uniquely German SeaQ, and Parmigiani with its elegant Tonda PF, the picture becomes clear. Rolex may dominate the mainstream, but these brands crush it in exclusivity, finishing, and true horological artistry. They're not just alternatives to Rolex, they're the next level up. And remember, if you're enjoying this Better Than Rolex series, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss our weekly watch insights. Until next time, stay stylish and stay informed.